Hey, let's talk about it, cause honestly we need to talk about social issues, just uplifting my people. Yeah, let's talk about it. Come join the conversation. A connection's what we're creating. Yeah.
What's happening, everybody? How y'all doing? So check this out, right? I am the most social person that I think I have ever met, right? Like, I love interacting with people, but I don't like interacting with people, if that makes any sense, right? Like, I'll have a conversation with anybody, but I'll go into the situation telling myself, like, I ain't trying to talk to nobody. I'm just gonna, get to point A to point B. And on my flight to St. Croix, I was in that situation again. I got to the airport and I was just like, listen, I'm just gonna get on this flight. Don't want to talk to nobody, whatever. End up talking, whatever. Well, anyways, on the flight, on the landing, we hit so much. I mean, we hit the runway. It was shaking and everything. Everybody screaming. Everybody's like, oh my God, this, that, and other. I'm saying Bible verses that I, must have heard when I was 7, 8 years old, right? Like, everybody was in a panic. And as we came to a stop, a girl in the very back of the plane, she was in the very, very last row. She was about 15, maybe 16. She gets up and she says, hey, everybody, God gave me a word to say. And she began to speak, right? And it was a wonderful, 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 word that she spoke, right? But this was a little girl. And, everybody starts clapping or whatever. And it hit me then, right? About myself. I was gonna stop doing this as far as, to this level, right? Because I was just like, what am I doing this for, right? But when she got up and she started speaking, like, it really hit me, right? Because I'm like, this girl, she stood up, she's in the back of the plane, and once you land, everybody wants to get out or whatever, but we just experienced this traumatic, experience, and she began to talk, and it really hit me, right? Because I believe that some of us, we get confused as far as what obstacles really are. And obstacles are thrown at you to make you better. And a lot of times people see me and they see my life and they think like, some people think I don't go through stuff, right? Like, some people think like, oh man, he think this, that, and the other, or he might got this or this, that, and the other, right? And a lot of times I fed into that because I felt like, you say something about me, I got to come back at you, twice as hard or whatever. And every time I did that, I was thrown off track of where God wanted me to be, right? Because it was just an obstacle. That obstacle was supposed to make me grow. And a lot of times when you're facing obstacles, you tend to feel like you have to prove a point. You talk about me, now I got to talk about you 10 times as worse. But when you do that, you lose. Because that obstacle was just supposed to make you better. And, I have been in situations many a times that I've shrunk myself, right? Like I'll have a word to say, but because of my environment or because of, the people that I'm around or whatever, sometimes I'll play the back. And I'll play the back because I didn't want people to think, oh, he think he know everything. Oh man, he think he's this, that, and other, right? So I'll play the back, right? And the more and more I did that, the more and more I started to have self-doubt about, what it was that my gift is to the world. And when I really started thinking about it, right, flew into St. Croix. And let me tell you how God works. My plane was delayed 4 times. Changed the gates, this, that, and the other, right? So landing, the resort, the front desk was going to be closed. So I'm like, oh my gosh, but they had the little key lock or whatever. And I'm like, man, I'm just upset. I'm upset. And I'm just like, man, I don't know, this, that, and other. So I called the number that they told me to call for a ride from the airport to the hotel. And when I called them, they said, hey man, we busy. We got the ships in, we busy. So I'm like, oh my gosh. But then he said, hey, you can call this number right here. I call the number. It's a lady. Lady comes, picks me up. As we're driving, we just begin to talk. And I really didn't want to talk. The plane was late. I'm tired. I just want to get to my room. But we began to talk, and we've been we had a great dialogue. So she tells me, she's like, hey, you want to stop at the gas station so you can get you, you know what I'm saying, something to drink or whatever. And she was like, are you hungry? I said, yeah, I just eat at the hotel, at the resort. And she was just like, yeah, but they might be closing. She called ahead for me, got all my food and stuff together, gets me to the resort, then tells me I'm going to wait till you get your keys and everything, whatever. And she said, just keep my number. So if y'all need, you know what I mean, a ride around the island, all you got to do is call me, right? And to some people, that seems like it's nothing. But let me tell you how God always has his hand around me. And I'm not, you know what I'm saying, ashamed to say it, because this lady took us all around. And on my last day, my flight wasn't leaving until 6. Checkout's at 11. So I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do this whole time. I'm gonna just go to the airport. This lady took me to church. Not only did she take me to church, you know what I'm saying, I met her whole family. They fed me. We had a great conversation and all of this other stuff, right? And I'm saying all of that to say this, right? God has his hands on me. God has his hands on you. If he didn't have his hands on you, you wouldn't be here. The problem is you have to understand and you have to hone in to what it is that you're supposed to be doing while his hands is on you. A lot of people think that, you know, you're supposed to be a millionaire, but that's not in the cards for you, because being a millionaire might lead you dead. A lot of people think they're supposed to have a mansion. You can't manage the apartment. A lot of people think they're supposed to have a Bentley. You can't manage the Honda, right? But if you are in the land of the living, God got his hands on you for a reason. Now, God ain't nothing to be played with. You keep playing with him, he'll take that hand right up off of you. And once he take his hand right up off of you, what's going to happen is going to happen. What's going to be is what's going to be. But we all have obstacles. We all have obstacles. Now, you might have, you know, ops, you know what I'm saying, as we call them. Yeah, you got your ops, right? But that's different than an obstacle. An op is literally trying to stop you. Your op is literally trying to stop you. Obstacles is trying to grow you. So now we're coming into a new year. New year, new me, all of them proper sayings or whatever that everybody's about to start saying. But I always say this, nothing changes if nothing changes. And the change starts in here, then gets here, then gets out of here. But what messes you up is what you allow in here. You ever came on social media, start looking at certain stuff, and it just makes you feel bad? You ever turn on the news and you see all the stuff that's going on in the world and it makes you feel bad? It's a lot of stuff going on in the world, but there's a lot of good stuff that's going on in your world. You can only control what you can control. When you wake up and you turn on that news and you see the shootings over here, this person is killed over here, you miss the first blessing. You're up in the land of the living. And it's a crazy thought, if you really think about it, to turn on the news knowing you're going to see nothing but depressing stuff, but you still do it every day. You go to social media, you read all of these horrible stories, but you'll scroll right past something that's uplifting. So now your spirit is drained because of what you are allowing in here, what you are allowing through this. And you feel messed up. You feel physically tired. There's people out here that every post is about something that ain't going right. About something that is not going right. And it doesn't make you better that you say, I don't do the social media stuff, but you online all the time. You're online all the time cyber stalking. You looking at everybody's stuff, but you'll be the first to say, I don't do that social media stuff, but you're looking at everybody's stuff. And because of your pride, you can't even hear a good word. Well, probably because you've been talking about that person behind their back, so you publicly can't say anything, right? But because of your pride, you will mess around and sit and be stunted. So to summarize all of this up, don't mistake obstacles for your ops. Your ops want to stop your motion. Obstacles want you to grow.
Hey, let's talk about it, cause honestly we need to talk about social issues, just uplifting my people. Yeah, let's talk about it. Come join the conversation. A connection's what we're creating. Yeah.